Spider-Man No Way Home! This is arguably the most hyped movie in cinematic history, even more so than Avengers Endgame. But you wouldn't know that if you saw the first figures they revealed for this movie. We had Doctor Strange, we had a pretty alright Spider-Man, we had a very, very bad Spider-Man, and J. Jonah Jameson. And I'm actually not mad about that one.
I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
It's been a year and 8 months since Spider-Man No Way Home released, and we are just now getting the 3 Spider-Men from Marvel Legends. We still got no villains, no final suit swing Tom,
and probably no butthole since this guy feeds on radiation.
But now it's finally here. After a long wait, we have Marvel Legends of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So how are they? Well, it fucking sucks. You know, I really wanted the Ant-Man Dr. Octopus 2-pack, but everywhere I go, people keep asking me, can you review the 3-pack? Where's the 3-pack video? So, this is for you. I was going to cancel it. Don't ever say I didn't do anything for you. I really can't go anywhere without getting this question. Please leave me alone. Before we even talk about how craptastic these figures are, I need to tell you how they were released. It was midway through July 2022. Spider-Man No Way Home has been out for 6 months at this point, and toy collectors were getting restless. All they wanted was figures of the 3 Spider-Men from No Way Home. People were spamming comments under Hasbro and Tamashii Nation's Instagram accounts, just asking and begging where the hell are the No Way Home figures. It was a madhouse. But then finally, these 2 toy companies, along with Hot Toys, revealed their figures within the span of a week. And thus, Hasbro put their figures up for pre-order. But here's the thing. SH Figuarts showed prototypes at Comic-Con, you know, actual physical figures. And so did Hot Toys. This is a picture of a real physical figure that Hot Toys made. And the reason I'm telling you this is because Hasbro revealed their 3-pack with this picture. This is not a picture of the prototypes of the figure, or a picture of anything physical. What you're looking at is 3D renders on what the figures are going to look like. So you're telling me SH Figuarts, a company based in Japan, and Hot Toys, a company that does cloth costumes and super realistic head sculpts, had prototypes? And you're telling me all Hasbro could do was upload a PNG file? But the funniest part is, when this 3-pack was put up for pre-order, they used the fucking renders. So they expected you to pay money for this and just hope that the final figures look even remotely like these 3D renders. But you better put it in, because these figures are Hasbro Pulse exclusives. Meaning you can only get these on the Hasbro Pulse website. Because yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why would you release these in stores when they could possibly sell even more units? But no, lock this behind your shitty website. I'm sure many toy collectors will appreciate that. They would not show us actual prototypes until fucking May. May of this year, goddammit. I haven't even looked at the figures themselves and I'm already pissed off. Well, here it is. This pack is now physically in my house, and I already don't like it. So for starters, you can't see the figures yet because this is Hasbro's new windowless packaging. I don't like it.
He stinks and I don't like him.
Plastic-free packaging except tape and glue. Well, thank you, Hasbro. It's not like the figures themselves are made of plastic or anything. Whoops. But that's not my only problem with the box. Get a look at this heavily photoshopped picture of the 3 figures in the front. They're not even being subtle about it, because spoiler alert, they look nothing like this. And probably the biggest offense to this is Toby himself. He actually doesn't look too bad here. Look at how well painted and nice he looks. How could they possibly mess this figure up? There's some artwork on the side, and on the back is a picture of the fucking renders again. So not even the pictures on the box tell you what the figures actually look like. It's like getting a blind bag, except instead of a $3 toy, it's a $100 3-pack.
First up, we've got the Spider-Man integrated suit.
Why does he look so good? When I first saw this, I was blown away and I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
I was blown away too, Ryan, but not because the figure looks good, but because it's fucking ass. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, this is literally the exact same figure they released not even a year ago, which I did review, by the way. I liked it then, but I really don't like it now.
We had the benefit to actually seeing the film, getting a chance to dial in the colors to be more film accurate.
Look, I love you, Dwight, and I like this team too, okay? Don't think I hate them or anything, I still like them all. But there's a problem with what he just said there. It's established in No Way Home that the integrated suit is literally just, you know, the Far From Home suit. And as we all know, the Far From Home suit is famously red and black. It's the very first Spider-Man costume on screen that is red and black. So of course, when updating the figure, they painted it blue. Why the fuck is it blue? The older figure was gray, which still isn't accurate, but it's a hell of a lot closer than blue.
And we went back and added in all of the recessive web detailing that...
You mean like what you should have done in the first place? Just fuck everyone who bought that original figure, right? And they don't even look good? These are some thick-ass lines, and they use the color gray for some reason. It just looks really ugly. And if you're trying to make the figure more accurate, why does he have the gauntlets still? Was it really that much of a hassle to give him new forearms?
That's right. We spared no expense for this Pulse 3-pack. We wanted to make it the best experience. So
I first opened this 3-pack live on Instagram, which you should check out, by the way, at SpiderCriminal. Isn't that beautiful? I wasn't expecting much from this 3-pack, but I was willing to give it a shot. I have been wrong before, and who knows, maybe they'll surprise me with just how quality these figures are. And that was my thought process for all of 3 seconds. Oh my god, do you guys see this? Look at this, look at this. That's me moving the arms. Oh, fuck. Why is the hinge not moving? Wait, do you see that? The hinge isn't moving. Hold on, wait. Oh, fuck. This figure fucking sucks. All I'm doing is trying to move the arms up. Why the fuck are the shoulders so stiff? Or, actually, no. Why the fuck are the arms super soft plastic? Who the fuck designs a figure like this? Stiff shoulders, gummy-ass arms. Do you know what fucking happens with this combination?
we spared no expense for this Pulse 3-pack.
Oh no!
This is it. This is the figure you whiny bitches, I mean loving fans, wanted me to look at the most. Because as you all know, I am a big Raimi fan. That's how I started my channel, looking at the old Toy Biz figures. Before No Way Home, because I'm not a fake ass fan, okay? I know my shit. Like how I know that this is not Hasbro's first Marvel Legends Toby. It's this guy. The Marvel Legends Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 3 Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. Yes, I knew that off the top of my head. Everybody was pissed when the Spider-Man 3 figures were 5 inches, so they made this wave in response. But you gotta remember, this is Hasbro, so they did not make a new Spider-Man figure, they just took one of Toy Biz's Spider-Mans, and they gave him bad paint, cheap-ass plastic, and the articulation was somehow worse. They pretty much took what made this figure good, and made it awful. So fast forward like 14 years later, No Way Home was Hasbro's opportunity to finally make a decent Tobey Maguire figure, and they gave him bad paint, cheap-ass plastic, and the articulation is somehow worse. Oh my god, where do I start? Well, for starters, just look at it. It looks like shit. This figure just looks so goddamn cheap. But cheap, this figure isn't. Oh, no, it is not. But okay, let's take a closer look at his fucking head. It's too big for one thing, it looks like a balloon. The figure's overall pretty skinny and he has this big ass head, so it kind of throws the figure off, it makes it look stupid. And this mask sculpt, oh my god, what did they do? The eyes and the web lines are too damn wide. It's like someone stretched out his face. This has got to be one of the worst heads I've ever seen on an action figure. I'm not even kidding. It only comes in second to this thing. Okay, so I have to talk about this. The mask on the figure looks really bad. And I said it looked really bad right when the first product images came out, which, first of all, they look awful. I mean, look at the eye. It's not even painted. People in the comments were telling me that the reason the figure looks this bad is because in No Way Home, they changed the mask. Now, here's my response to that. I fucking know, okay? Do you know who I am? I have seen this trilogy 1,000 times each. I think I would know if they changed the mask for No Way Home, okay? How dare you insult my intelligence? If anyone would have noticed that the mask changed, it would be me, bitch. Yes, I know ISO Stormgamer 5584, but this isn't Hasbro being accurate. This is Hasbro straight up messing up how the mask looks. You know what else is based off the No Way Home mask? The Figure Arts figure. And it looks completely fine. Take any screenshot from the movie, this figure doesn't look like any one of them. The only one it looks like is this one, where he looks the most fucked. But even then, the figure still somehow manages to look worse. Case in point, the bright-ass colors. The blue and especially the red is so goddamn bright, it almost looks pink. It's like in a picture when something's oversaturated, except in this case, you can't turn down the saturation because it's real life. He just looks terrible all the time. But now it's time for me to go nerd mode. As a massive fan of the Raimi trilogy and the costume, I noticed a few things. The blue parts of the figure have this hexagon texturing, which is completely accurate, it's completely fine, it's how it is in the movies. It's supposed to have this pattern. But then you get to the red parts of the figure, where instead of continuing the hexagon pattern, they try to texturize the suit like how the fabric is instead of the pattern. It's so bizarre. The Sam Raimi suit has the same pattern throughout the entire suit. All you had to do was continue the pattern from the blue parts throughout the entire suit. Look at this behind the scene footage. The red parts doesn't even have texture. What the hell were they thinking? They would have been better off not doing texturing at all. Out of all the things to put effort on, they decided different texture was more important than painting the fucking figure right. Because yes, the worst part is the paint. I already talked about the colors where the figure looks like a Happy Meal toy, but let's move on to the real catastrophe. The webs. These are the worst painted webs I have ever seen on not just a Toby figure, but any Spider-Man figure ever. First of all, the shade of silver is completely wrong. The silver on the costume is clearly a dark, almost gunmetal color. But here they straight up just painted it silver. A bright silver. Even worse is the coverage. There are parts on the figure where the silver's there, but you can't fucking see it because of how transparent it is. The silver paint bleeds onto the red sections, and there are parts where the silver isn't even on the lines. That's not even close. What, are we at a point now where Hasbro can't even paint a fucking line? I don't think you guys understand how bad this is. This is the Spider-Man 2 aerial flipping Spider-Man, and not only did Toy Biz choose a correct shade of silver, look at that. They actually painted the webs on the sculpted webs. Wild! Matter of fact, every Toy Biz Spider-Man figure, they painted the webs like how they're supposed to. Hasbro's own line from Spider-Man 3 actually have the lines cleaner than this new 2023 figure. Here's the Superhero Squad figure. Oh my god. It's cleaner than the Marvel Legend. This basic 10-inch figure, that is some clean paint. I wish they would carry that onto this. The goddamn Funko Pop. Do you guys see where the problem is here? This Marvel Legends Spider-Man has worse paint than the Spider-Man walkie-talkie.
We spared no expense for this Pulse 3 pack.
I have reprogrammed the Spider-Man walkie-talkie to allow me to talk directly to Hasbro. Why do these figures suck?
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick.
In case you thought the figure couldn't possibly get any worse, let's talk about the articulation. The big-ass head is on a double ball joint, which I guess is a good thing. If this figure was on a disc hinge, I would have flipped my lid. But the problem is Hasbro puts their neck peg way too deep in the neck, so looking up, it's not really happening. The shoulders move with no problems, unlike other mistakes. And then he's got your standard Marvel Legends arm articulation. He does have armpit joints, but they kind of don't work. This is him without armpit joints, and this is him with the armpit joints. There's barely a difference. Also, I noticed the underside of the shoulder joint is red, so it goes from blue to red to blue again. May I ask, why? Every other figure ever made paints the underside of the shoulder blue because that's how it's supposed to. What the f?
We spared no expense for this Pulse 3 pack.
This diaphragm joint, it spins, and instead of going forward, it really just like shifts forward. Barely any crunch. They saved that for the ab crunch. Yes, it's a diaphragm joint and an ab crunch. And with only this joint, you can crunch forward this much. And I hate to be that guy, except I don't, because I don't give a shit. This diaphragm joint and ab crunch combo needs to fucking go. It's not good. And I'm sorry to all the Marvel Legends fans that think this is some revolutionary technology. It's not. Look at this and tell me it's a good system. I've never had a figure that crunches back more than it moves forward. This should have been a ball joint. It's what Mafex does, and hell, it's what G.I. Joe does. A line also owned by Hasbro. You get way more range with that system than this. In fact, the ab crunch ruins the aesthetic of the figure most of the time. Because of the way the ab crunch is cut into his lower stomach, it makes it look like he has love handles. And I want you guys to pay close attention to the web line going down his side. Notice how it goes down like normal, but when it gets to the ab crunch, it just awkwardly curves inward. The point of these lines on the costume, the real life costume, was to accentuate his physique. So on the figure, when they curve inward like this, it makes him look fat. So for the future, please give your Marvel Legends ball joint waists. The ab crunch needs to go. Nah, but can your favorite Spider-Man do this? Don't think so. So this figure has drop down legs, which means you can drop down the leg on the figure to make it move up more. Or at least that's how it's supposed to work. You need to really pull on the leg to get it down. And when you finally do, it adds nothing. This is the leg moving forward without dropping it down, and with dropping it down, there's barely a difference. When I try to move the leg any further than this, I scratch the fuck out of the thighs. Double jointed knees, and your ankle pivots and whatever. Also no toe joint. This is the first Marvel Legends Toby without a toe joint. Good job, Hasbro.
We spared no expense.
These legs are also thick for no reason, and his ass hangs down real low. It makes the figure look even more goofy. But not as goofy as trying to pose him. The articulation is so bad, you can't even get him into the pose that he's on the box. Not that you could anyway, because he is clearly photoshopped into this pose. Here is what the figure actually looks like if you try to get him into this pose. The poor bastard can't even look up. A wise man once said, all he can do is have his head hang down in shame. And also, people were trying to tell me that the Toy Biz figure is still worse than this new Hasbro one, but he does this pose 100 times better. Don't ever disrespect Toy Biz again. What an embarrassment of a figure. You know, I knew he wasn't gonna be good, but I didn't think he'd be this bad. And to think they failed on the most important part, which was painting the goddamn webs! Something the older toys did a decade ago. And his head, my god. It's hideous, and don't try to tell me they're trying to be accurate when on the box they show a completely different mask. In fact, anyone who still defends this figure, please tell me what I'm missing here, because the paint fucking sucks, the sculpt fucking sucks, it sure as hell isn't affordable, and the articulation is below average at most. This figure is not better than the Toy Biz figures, it's certainly not better than the SH Figuarts. I'd put this figure below the 5-inch figures, because at least they painted the goddamn webs! I am a Raimi collector, so I guess I can't throw this figure away. He's just gonna go in the back of my Raimi shelf, probably never to see sunlight again. He'll just sit there as proof I was a victim of Hasbro's laziness. God, I'm so fucking tired. I never even wanted this 3-pack. Is there nothing good in this 3-pack at all? Finally, a good one! This is Hasbro's first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man figure since 2014, where the original figure looked absolutely nothing like how he did in the movie. And our last figure, based on this suit specifically, was the Mafex figure, which was pretty good, if a little bit outdated. And as you can see, all Hasbro could do was improve. You can't get much worse than this original figure. But I'll be honest, they kinda did a good job. To tell you the truth, I'm shocked. For one thing, the mask actually looks like the mask in the movie. The eyes have a pearlescent white, which is very similar to what SH Figuarts did. Review coming soon. And oh my god, the webs are painted on the web lines. Well, would you look at that? Hasbro can do something right. The thing about these webs though is that they're clearly black. This isn't like a really dark silver or anything. No, it's just straight up black.
What do you mean by that?
They're supposed to be silver, but they do look pretty dark in some pictures, so I guess it's not too bad. You know, that is inaccurate, but I'm just happy they painted it good this time. As you can see, the red parts are slightly metallic, which is pretty cool. And the texture is really nice. It's a lot more subtle than the other figure, so thank God. He does look nice, but I do have a complaint. And it's about the colors. You know how Toby was really bright? Well, this figure is really dark. I think the red should have been a shade lighter, but my real problem is the blue. The blue is not the correct shade at all. In fact, I think it's more purple than blue. I actually think the original figure, you know, for being as bad as it is, I think the colors on this figure is actually more accurate than the new one. I know it may seem like a small thing, but I've stared at this suit for such a long time, especially when his merchandise was everywhere in 2014. So that was one of the first things I noticed. He does have the web shooters, which aren't painted, but they are there. And overall, this figure looks pretty good. The proportions are pretty on point, and he's actually painted nice. That's great. Wow. What the hell happened with Toby? These two figures came in the same goddamn pack. But the difference in quality between the two, it's no contest. It's like Dwight Stahl personally worked on the Andrew figure, and then they just left the intern that was hired last week to work on Toby. The articulation on Andrew is exactly the same as Toby's, but unfortunately, the problems are kind of worse here. The hip joints are fine. They actually work a lot better than Toby, but the armpit joints, they barely move. And once again, he crunches back way more than he does forward. Only in this case, it's just terrible. This is him crunching forward, and this is him crunching back. So for how much nicer this Andrew figure is, they just had to mess this up. And as you can see on the left eye on my figure, there is some extra paint that isn't supposed to be there. You know, normally that wouldn't be a big deal if this set didn't cost $100. This set was $100 goddamn dollars. It's $90 retail, but if you order it, it's gonna be $100 either way. The shipping and tax is a real bitch. So what type of accessories did they include in this 3-pack to make it worth your money? Well, first off, the accessories come in these crack baggies. Look at this and tell me that's not what it looks like. I feel like Jesse Pinkman gave me these himself. But each figure in this set comes with 3 pairs of hands. You get your wall crawlers, you get your fists, and you get your thwippers. So Tom Holland's hands have the webs, not just on the fingers, but on the palms too. Why are there webs on here? We've established that the integrated suit is just a Far From Home suit. The hands should look like this. Why the fuck are there webs? I don't... Andrew's hands are pretty normal, except for the wall crawlers. One of them is your standard wall crawling hand, and the other one is like this gesture hand. It's no big deal, but it's interesting. And Toby's hands... oh my god. They gave him baby hands. Look at how small the fists look. The wrist is way thicker than his whole fist. And the other hands have these stubby little fingers. It's actually almost comical how small his hands are. Like, look at the little baby hands. Oh, that's so cute. It almost makes me forget I wasted my money. Now, here is one thing that I think is actually kind of cool. On this hand, the fingers are in the exact same pose they're on the Spider-Man 1 poster. That's pretty cool. It's just a shame you can't get the figure in this pose because you can't fucking look up. But wow, that's it? Just alternate hands? Not even unmasked heads? Alternate heads would have at least made the $100 price seemed kind of worth it. They could have included the Doctor Strange box, the little cure devices they used, Ned's fat ass, I don't know, fucking anything to make the price a little worth it. No, but they did include something with this 3-pack. Oh yeah, they did. 3 webs The same webs they've been using since 2012, here again, but in clear plastic. Wow, that's so funny. Oops. Here's the Legends Toby next to the SH Figure Arts. A much better figure, by the way. As you can see, Toby's taller, but not by much. It seems even Hasbro made this figure short for some reason. But having these two right next to each other, you can see just how much of a terrible job Hasbro did. In fact, even standing him next to the Toby's figure makes him look terrible. This was damn near 14 years ago, and it still looks a lot better. Here he is next to J. Jonah Jameson. Here he is next to the Green Goblin. Here he is next to Venom. And here he is next to the Spider-Man Trilogy Spider-Man. This is another repaint that Hasbro made. And when this figure came out, one of the main complaints people had was that the webs were really messy and the paint overall was just awful. It's nice to see that Hasbro hasn't changed. Now here is the Andrew figure next to the original Andrew Garfield figure for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And in this case, there is definitely an improvement. This is definitely the figure we should have gotten the first time. Here he is next to the Mafex figure, and wow, the Mafex is really tall. I did not know that. But yeah, even in this case, I think they look pretty on par with each other. Here he is next to the Walmart exclusive Amazing Spider-Man, which I think is the only time Hasbro's made an Andrew Garfield head, which you can't put on this figure. The ball joint is just way too big, but if you were to take that out and just put it on there with some sticky tack, I think it looks pretty good. Here he is with the Diamond Select head. Amazing. And here he is next to Electro and the Lizard. If you're wondering where Tom is, well, that figure is long gone now. I threw it in the garbage. I'm not even kidding, I threw it in there. I'm just kidding, I gave it to my little brother. And here they are next to the Figma Aqua. Yeah, I know, I feel the same way. And that's it. That was the Marvel Legends No Way Home 3-pack. And like I said before, this thing costs $100. Two of the figures were downright awful, but there was one good one in here. But overall, do I think the 3-pack was worth it? No. No, I don't. I've never been this suicidal before, but the 3-pack is fucking shit. It's overpriced, the figures aren't good except for one, and even then, oh man. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time composing myself because this shit pisses me off on a level you wouldn't even believe. Andrew Garfield is the only good figure in this set, and even then, he does not justify the $100 at all. The Marvel Legends Toby was never going to be as good as the figure arts, okay? It just wasn't. But at the very least, I expected it to be at least decent. A decent figure. But it isn't. Hasbro somehow made it shit. And this is Hasbro, so to make a figure this bad, it's really impressive. The Tom Holland isn't even worth talking about. It's already at the dump by now. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that thing. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, I got lucky. Oh yeah, you thought the problems was bad? You haven't seen anything yet. People have gotten quality control issues, really bad ones, by the way. In fact, so let's go ahead and take a little gander at the quote-unquote high quality that Hasbro Pulse gave us for $100.
We spared no expense for this Pulse 3-pack.
Like I said before, for the longest time we only had the renders to go off of for these figures. Then some in-hand pictures leaked on the internet, and me, along with other people, thought, hey, that kind of looks really bad. Then shortly after, Hasbro revealed what the figures were actually gonna look like. And Toby especially still looked horrible. Then, I kid you not even a week later, they started shipping out these figures way ahead of schedule, which tells me the Hasbro team knew these figures sucked, so they started charging people before they could cancel their pre-orders. You don't even gotta take my word for it. That's right, people who own this 3-pack think that 2 of the 3 figures are fucking ass, not even worth keeping. The SH Figure Arts Andrew Garfield came out less than a month later. By the time Hasbro finally put out this shitty 3-pack, Tamashii Nations is already working on the Green Goblin. Mafex just announced their Tobey Maguire is coming out probably next year. And even Hasbro themselves is working on a Marvel Legends No Way Home wave where they're gonna probably reuse these exact figures and release them all separately. Which is what they should have fucking did in the first place. Collectors knew it was better to just wait than waste their time, like how I did. If it wasn't for my channel and me being a Raimi completionist, I would have never gotten this 3-pack. It's... Hey guys, this is VoiceOver Criminal here. It is currently September 22nd, and Hasbro revealed some new No Way Home figures, which not only outdates this video already before it even comes out, but look at that. They did exactly what I said they were gonna do. Re-release these exact same figures with what looks like absolutely no difference, but now they have Peter Parker heads. So it seems like this video and this 3-pack was nothing more than a waste of time.